All right, so here we go. So question number 8 is your product or your service ready to launch? All right, now let's break that one down a little bit further. Is your product or service ready to launch, or how much time and capital will it take to bring your product or service to the market? How much time and capital will it take to bring your product or service to the market? That's what I want you to figure out. Now, let's do a quick case study. We wanted to launch this manufacturing company, but we needed to produce the product first to attract the capital. All right, now that's an interesting way of doing that. We needed to spend our own money, spend our own resources, coming up with the product first before we could actually attract the capital. Well, the product that we launched, we actually pre-sold. So I want you to think about that. Pre-selling your product or your service to generate income so that you can attract capital. You can show the flow of income through your company. And then what happens? Well, the product that we developed attracted capital because we pre-sold over $250,000 worth of the product. Now that's what we wanted to do. There's a way and a formula to figure that out so that your customers can get excited about it, and you even offer them a discount. Offer them a huge discount if they come in first with you. You've got people or friends or acquaintances that could actually help you attract the capital through pre-sold products and services. I just want you to think about that for a minute and how that might apply to your particular business. All right, so now we've got question number 9 in our next series here of events, and I guess what we want to do is we want to figure out, well, let me just ask the question. Do you have strategic alliance partners who believe in you? That's the question that you're going to be asked and that you need to provide the answer to. But what are we really saying? If you're dealing with an investor, or if you're dealing with your banker, or your rich Uncle Joe, or whoever that may be, do you have strategic alliance partners who believe in you? What does that mean? Will your strategic alliance partners open doors for you, is what it really means, and at what level? So let me give you an example. The fact that we've already built through this series the fact that you can't do this on your own, and you need to have others helping you, being involved in building your enterprise. I just guarantee you that you're going to be surprised, pleasantly surprised, of how many people are going to want to help you open some of those doors. Look, if they get passionate behind your idea and your concept and your company, just like you do, maybe not to the same level as you, but to the level of saying, I've got some friends who may want to know about this. I've got some key individuals that I'm connected with that will really want to understand what you're trying to do here, and I want to help you. We put together many programs over the years where we would reach out to our strategic alliance partners and literally ask them, will you set an appointment for me? Will you put together a letter and send that letter or that email to some of your colleagues outside of your company that may help open some doors for us? We put together one program that we reached out to a few CEOs of very large companies. And before we were doing that, we weren't as successful in this particular program. And then we decided, you know what, if we reach out to them and ask them, well, they were glad to help us out. In fact, they were so glad to help us out that one of the CEOs sent out an email to over 80,000 employees. 80,000 employees. To have his employees support us and participate with us in raising funds for a charitable cause that we had all been involved in and we all had a passion to help children. That CEO sent out that email, and guess what? Not every one of them, not all 80,000 said, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and support this, but there were thousands who said, we will definitely help support this. Because of a CEO like that, the employees wanted to make sure that, they wanted to impress the boss, so to speak. So they not only went and supported the event, they took a photo of it on their phone, their smartphone, sent the photo back to the CEO to say, hey, here I am, I'm at this event, thanks for letting me know about it, it's a great cause, I was happy to help out. Well, that particular event ended up raising $1 million more that year than it had the previous year. And it has grown ever since. Now, the point here is that when you have strategic alliance partners, don't underestimate the power that they carry with them. So the point here is that when you have a CEO that will send out that many emails in one blast and ask them to participate, don't ever underestimate the power that some of your strategic alliance partners can play for you in growing your business. Take advantage of this opportunity to tell them what you're doing, have them support you, and have them support you in a way where it comes directly from them. What a great way to have your strategic alliance partners being involved with you on a direct level, direct to their employees, even direct to their customers, to help support whatever you're doing, whether it's a partnership you're putting together with them, whether it's an event for a charity like we have done in many occasions. Just get a little crazy with that, a little creative, and know that with that particular area, you'll be able to open a lot of doors involving your strategic alliance partners. Okay, so now we're going to move on to question 10. And it's kind of simple, and it's on the minds of anyone who's involved with you, whether they're an investor, whether they're your banker, your CPA, your employees, your spouse, your significant other. Here's the question. When do you anticipate being profitable? Or, in other words, do market conditions out there today support your projections, and how defensible are those projections? Do market conditions support your projections, and how defensible are they? That's the question you want to ask yourself. All right, let me give you a quick example of what this means. We were working with a company several years ago where we wrote their business plan for them to help them raise capital for a really cool concept that they had developed and designed. A group of engineers had gotten together and put together a pretty amazing product. And it was a technology company, not just with an amazing product, but it was a new emerging industry in the medical field for electronic medical records. They really did an amazing job in putting this company together. The plan was solid. We had helped them not only develop this plan, but they were meeting with a lot of investment people and groups who were quite interested in what they were trying to do. But the biggest challenge that we found with that particular company was at the top, the leaders were saying they could not explain their profitability and when they were going to reach a profit. Now, our forecasts clearly showed that, and we had several meetings with them to show where these numbers were coming from and help coach them on how to present this to the investors. However, they could not define, when they were meeting with the investment groups, how and when they were going to be profitable. So my first thought to that was, well, you know what? If you think it's too hard to forecast, then it's probably too hard to describe to somebody. Long and short of that particular company is they were a little too arrogant in figuring that their technology only was the amazing thing, and that would be the piece that would sell their concept to the investors. Well, the investors never understood the forecasting, and they understood the spreadsheets, but when the owners couldn't describe it because they thought their technology was more important than the forecasting, if it's too hard to forecast, and then it's too hard to describe, and hence it's also too hard to raise capital. Well, that company never did get the capital that they were hoping to raise, the amount they were hoping to raise, and all of a sudden competition came in and they were no longer in business. So the key here is to make sure that you are explaining to your investment sources, if you require investment sources, do market conditions support your projections, and how defensible are they? All right, so really what you want to do here is you want to run your sales forecasts, you want to create your personnel plan so you know how many people you're forecasting to come into the mix over the next 5 years, first year month to month, like we've discussed before, and then the next 2 to 5 years, annual numbers. Develop your break-even analysis. When are you truly going to break even, and what is your monthly burn rate, and how much do you need to cover every month through your sales? And then look closely at your profit and loss statement and your cash flow. And answer the question again, when do you anticipate being profitable? Once you run those tables, those spreadsheets, you can point and say, this is when we expect to be profitable. And it could be month 4, it could be month 18, it could be month 36. Whenever that may be, you'll have to be able to answer that question. When do you anticipate being profitable? Okay. We've come a long way here. And if you can answer these questions, you are well on your way to achieving that pinnacle of success that you're looking for. This is something that's really important. Going through all these questions, asking yourself, can I really make a go of this? Do I have a solid business case that I can present to investors, to strategic alliance partners, to employees, even to yourself? Do you have a solid business case? So go through and answer those questions. I hope you enjoyed this particular segment. And we're coming up with a new one here in just a minute, so thanks for taking the time to go through this one. I'll see you on the other side.